Hey everybody, it's Rob from Flailthroughs. This is Gundam Battle Operation 2, and we are once again back with the Buffs We Would Like to See series. We are starting off today with the Rickdom 2, which is just kind of weird. We were looking at it compared to the standard Rickdom, and there's just a lot of or the standard Dom, both, but there's just a bunch of things that don't make a ton of sense. It does have forced injector, which the standard Dom and Rick Dom do not. It does not have enhanced tackle for some reason. And then there's the giant bazooka 2, which is one of the two weapons it can use, which has slightly more damage and slightly more range compared to the original giant bazooka, but fires slower and has fewer shots. It's really kind of confusing. So, yeah. One, what do you think, Salty? And two, where are you?
This map is way bigger than I thought it was.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
only been on this map like twice.
Well, I'm
So
currently
I'm
near point D, if that helps any.
yeah, I'm like right behind you.
Okay.
So the Rickdown 2 was I think a year and a half suit. We got this about a year after the game launched. It's a really fun suit. But here's the problem is with the suit is when it originally launched, the Rick Dom 2's bazooka acted kind of funny, and I think it still kind of acts funny in this game today. When it originally released, the bazooka would just you would be aiming at somebody and your shot would just go in the opposite direction. It would never fire where you would intend it to go. It would just miss. And you could be right into someone's feet, and the shot would fly off into someone's shoulder or come back at you several times. I've had that happen so many times, and I wrote the Rick Dom 2 off as a useless suit. Over the years, I guess they fixed it. The G3 Gundam also suffered that problem with the dual bazookas, where one of the shots would just fly off out 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 of nowhere, just fly off and disappear,
Hmm.
or just do no damage. So I guess they fixed the problem. So the problem with the Rickdom 2 is that it doesn't specialize in anything, and it's really basic. And that's not a problem. The problem is uh, the skills it has and the weapons it has. And the weapons it has are not good. The Rick Dom 2's bazooka, as Rob was saying, its stats are just everywhere. Only four shots for a 1.1 second faster reload. And you're like 5 meters longer range or shorter range. I can't remember. It's
25
not
meters
good.
longer.
Yeah, 25 meters longer. Like, there's no point. Then you got the MMP 80 with grenade launcher, and we all know how terrible the MMP 80s are, or all the machine guns are. Then it's got a Sturmfaust, which is a year one Sturmfaust, 15-second reload, pretty long cooldown time on it, or ready up time. So the combo with the suit is Sturmfaust beam gun into your bazooka, and then downswing, and then downswing again. That's your healthiest combo. So one thing I would like to see them do is give it the Sinanju skill of Purge. Anything that has, I feel like has propellant tanks on it should get this Purge mechanic. I think that would be a really nice touch. Gives you a free dodge. Um, but with the propellant tanks, I feel like this thing's boost should be increased, as I feel it's not that great, honestly. Uh, this is a late war suit. I feel like its thrust should be extraordinarily good, but I feel like it's rather lacking. I feel like it should be comparable to like the high mobility series, high mobility Zaku series when it comes down to it. Um, the Rickdom 2's bazooka needs a massive buff in the form of either damage, because again, it's a late war bazooka. That is not that bazooka did not see action until the Rick-Dom 2 was being produced.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to see a couple more points into damage, maybe 100 more, two more. Like technically, it's not even. I don't even think it's supposed to have multiple rounds in it. I think it's a single shot bazooka, if I'm not mistaken, lore wise. But whatever, give it two more rounds, make it equal to the giant bazooka, or or give this thing the ability to dual wield bazookas.
Yeah.
Make it dual wield bazookas. Why not give it the ability to break maneuver armor with the dual bazookas, and then follow up with the Sturmfaust. Make it give the Sturmfaust 10-second or 8-second reload. Have it fly faster, and then you could either keep the beam gun as is or reduce the heat rate from 100% to 98%. I feel like all chest beams in Dom should not have 100% heat rate. That's kind of ridiculous. What about you, Rob?
Um, like I was saying before we started, I feel like I can kind of justify the 100% heat rate because I don't think you ever see any DOMs use them rapid fire in animation. If anybody remembers an instance of that that I've forgotten, please, always, correction's always welcome, as I like to say. One thing I would like is that apparently it does move up to Forced Injector 2 at higher levels, but Forced Injector 1 is just hideously inefficient, and I'd like to see it get have that from have level 2 from the jump, because yeah, it just really is not very useful at level 1. For some reason, none of the Rick Dom 2s in the game have enhanced tackle, even though the standard Dom does, and most of the Dom variants do. The Dom, like prototype Dom variants, don't seem to, and the Dom Tropin doesn't for reasons, but we'll get to that eventually. But beyond that, yeah, I think you're right. The Sturmfaust could do a little more damage. It could, and needs to reload faster. This bazooka needs to re-ready and reload a little faster. I think you could do that with both bazookas, but honestly, just the standard giant bazooka has that everything uses it problem.
Yeah.
Beyond that,
Whoops.
no worries. Beyond that, I think just like it's this is one that I feel like could do with a bunch of small tweaks as opposed to like a complete overhaul. But yeah, just I think basically everything about its weapons needs a little bit of TLC here to be a little more useful. It's just kind of hard at the moment to justify using this over the standard Dom, I feel like.
Or heck, even a Gato's Dom,
Yeah.
Rick Dom, which shouldn't even be allowed on ground. I don't know why they had allowed that. That's lore breaking.
All right, we are following up with the Dra-C, which I forgot to put in its default colors, I think. Maybe I didn't. But yeah, it's an interesting case because the way it's designed is actually fairly in line with its lore. It is supposed to be kind of fragile, kind of designed for linear movement and attacking, and it's just it's another one of those Axis suits that was just kind of made out of necessity with what was on hand. And yeah, it's when it first came out, it was actually really scary because its downswing is 4,000 at 4,000 at cost 200 is pretty horrifying. That said, it's another one that has kind of fallen behind the times, and I think we've got some decent ideas as to how to touch it up without really breaking the spirit of the thing. What do you think?
Well, the Dra-C, oh boy, give this to anyone who is experienced in space and you have an absolute nightmare on your hands. The people who can make a spacesuit dance will make this thing your worst nightmare. Nothing is more scary than a pro Dra-C player, and I'm not kidding. This thing is a scary thing to fight. So main weapons is a 40 millimeter Vulcan arm gun. Very rapid fire, 201 shots at or 201 damage at 300. I do not have actually damage parts on this suit. This is all thrust. I like to get in with the Dra-C. It's got a Sturmfaust, standard 2100 attack, stun, and of course the beam saber. So our ideas is to uh, really take ideas from its lore and its story. So in lore, this thing is not meant to sit here and just like pepper and all that. This thing is meant to fly in real quick, real fast, like pepper as it flies past, fire off a couple of Sturmfaust and get out of dodge. And it's not meant to hang into the battlefield. It's meant to fly in, do damage, and go. That's it. That's its purpose. Get back to the battleship, reload, restock, and get back in, do wash, rinse, and repeat. So our idea is um, to give it several perks while it's boosting, allow it to either fire its machine gun while it's boosting. I don't remember what that perk is called. Whatever it's on the mass production Zeta Gundam. That
Yeah.
allows him to fire his beam rifle while boosting. Would be perfect for the Dra-C. And the melee skill that's on the Gelgu Glancer allows him to poke while boosting with the beam saber. Would be perfect for the Dra-C. Allows him to. It would allow this Dra-C that much more utility. And as you're doing those things, allow you to get more speed and better conserve your boost by reducing your boost consumption while doing those actions. I think that would be perfect for the Dra-C. What about you, Rob?
I think you're right. Yeah, because the Dra-C basically, it's really set up relatively well for the lore based on when it was introduced to the game. It does have AMBAC 2, which is probably one level higher than it should, but also that's just because everything space compatible has AMBAC 2. That was like a blanket update as they revised space as they went. But also just everything about it is kind of designed for being linear in its combat and not have it has a really terrible turn speed. It has 42, which is I think the only things lower at 200 are like the cannon types. So it is designed to fight in a straight line. So either the fire while boosting ability or the touchpad skill that lets you fire while boosting and gives you enhanced boost temporarily, I think would be an excellent idea. But just because it is supposed to be kind of fragile, I don't think we need to increase its defenses or hit points. It only has 9,000 hit points. It costs 200. Only 13.5. Salty was telling me at 350. So, but definitely we can enhance its combat potential when used basically as prescribed in the lore. Another thing I was thinking about is because it is supposed to be, it's another cheap, what do we have on hand Axis suit. I feel like frontline support system would be a good addition to this, just because it's like, it's designed for just, efficiency. So it does, so it makes everything spawn just a little bit faster. I think that could be useful. It's a trivial thing, but I think it would kind of support how it operates. But overall, the ability to fire while boosting, I forgot Force Injector 1 is actually perfectly adequate in space. It has really pretty good efficiency here. You can zigzag as needed. It doesn't, because I think I don't know what it is specifically, doesn't actually really move you that far to change directions, but it can get you out of the way of something. But just to talk about how it's set up, already set up relatively well for the lore. The AMBAC skill can kind of take place of balancers in space if you're moving in a straight line. If you're boosting in a straight line, you will come straight out of the boost and be able to go straight into melee. So, if you're going at an angle, you can't generally do that. So, yeah, there's just a little bit of a more of a pause if you are boosting any direction other than forward. So, yeah, it's although the hesitation is not as much as I remembered. So maybe I was just using other suits wrong, which wouldn't shock me. But yeah, I think I really like that a lot of times of the Rickdom 2 being one of them. I'm like, what do we do with this? But I feel like for this, like we've got a really good like angle on this and what to do with it. And yeah, I would really like to see some of this happen. I was saying before we started that an overboost or EX boost skill would be good. Just like thinking about all that together, like having the touchpad skill that lets you fire while boosting might be like the ideal thing for this. You get a temporary burst of speed, you get a temporary boost of strafing ability, and then I really kind of want to put it on cooldown as opposed to once per life. I think there is a version of that skill that has it, but I don't remember exactly because there's like 30 different skills that give you temporary like firing capabilities and mobility increases at this point. But
Yeah. I'm almost hesitant. Like I didn't want to say give it like multi-hit either, because like it's already doing 4,000 damage on a downswing at level 1. Giving it 2-hit melee combo would be too much, or giving it multi-hit on a downswing would be too much. And why does it have a standing animation as its draw?
well, as we were talking about before, technically those fins are legs because they get the leg buffer skill. So
yeah, that's fair. That
Yeah.
looked. I wasn't expecting that.
yeah, that's just one of those GBO2 things, is that everything kind of is designed around that, certain like generic animation models, and that means that sometimes you get really kind of weird things like this.
That was funny.
But yeah, those are our thoughts on the Dra-C, and I think I even consistently said Dra-C instead of Gaza-C, so hooray. And yeah, as always, any suggestions, any thoughts, any recommendations for suits to look at in the future, all drop us a line in the comments. All those other YouTube things, the likes, the subscribes, etc., always welcome. But for now, that is going to do it for today's Gundam Battle Operation 2. We will be back soon with more. Till next time, everybody take care and have fun. Later.